What's up guys, my name is Ace, and CoD Mobile has been out for a few years now, and while I personally don't really play it at all, I'm quite unfamiliar with it. I keep hearing that it has so many great features that we don't see in the regular Call of Duty games that are on console as well as PC. So I decided to do some research on this and dive into CoD Mobile, and I managed to find 5 amazing features that I'd love to see in normal Call of Duty games like Modern Warfare 2 for instance this year. Now I realize if they don't already have these features planned for the game, it's unlikely we'll be seeing them, but I wanted to bring up this list anyway, so maybe for future Call of Duty games, we could see some of these great features from mobile. And the first feature that I noticed that's way more comprehensive than the current features we have is in the Gunsmith, we can see extremely detailed weapon stats. Like in Black Ops Cold War as well as Vanguard, they made some improvements so we could see some actual weapon stats and we can see how the attachments are actually affecting the gun, but even that is nowhere even close to the amount of detail that we can see in CoD Mobile, and this makes me really jealous as a non-CoD Mobile player. As we can see here, we can see all of the detailed weapon stats that we'd expect to see in the console version of CoD. Like we've got our aim down sight time, sprint out time, aim walking movement speed, sprint speed, all those sorts of things. We've kind of come to expect that at this point. However, more importantly, you can also see all the different body multipliers and how much damage you're going to be dealing in each one of those body parts. And we can also see all of the range drop-offs, because in the normal version of Call of Duty, we can see our first damage range drop-off and we can see our maximum damage that applies to the maximum damage range, but we get nothing beyond that. We don't get to see how our damage drops off, and therefore you have to come to people like me on YouTube in order to find that information. And as much as it would probably suck for me and my YouTube channel, because people wouldn't have to come to my YouTube channel to find out all this detailed information, I'm sure I'd be able to adapt to it and make sure I'm still providing a ton of value with my gun guides. And at the end of the day, I don't feel like you should have to go watch a YouTube video just to find out how your gun is performing in the game, when they can absolutely just display that data for you in-game. Another thing I like about this is the weapon comparison tool, so you can put 2 different weapons up side by side, or you can choose the same weapon, but then just start altering attachments, so you can compare 2 different attachment setups on the same gun, and it will display all those stats for you, which is again, really cool, and I'd love to see this feature in normal Call of Duty games. As for the next feature on my list, this is actually a set of features, and this is simply quality of life settings, specifically when it comes to your heads-up display elements and having control over how those appear on your screen. So the first thing is marker settings. So for the objective markers or item markers in the game, in CoD Mobile, you can set the scale as well as the opacity of these items, and that's something we have 0 control over in other Call of Duty games. Additionally, with the minimap, you can adjust the scale and opacity of that. The one thing I'm not really a fan of, I think this is actually better tied to a perk than anything, is the minimap zoom setting. Although I will say I really like the icon zoom setting, so you can reduce the size of your arrow, for instance, on the minimap, so it doesn't potentially overlap and block other important information. There's definitely been times in some older Call of Duty games where I didn't like how large that arrow appeared, and I felt like it was just getting in the way. But overall, I just love how much we can customize various elements of our heads-up display in this that we simply have 0 control over in all of the other Call of Duty games. Moving on, let's get into the third thing on my list, and this is something I've really been pushing for a while now, because we have seen this in some previous Call of Duty games, but it's really hit or miss. This is a separate earnable currency that is completely separated from COD points. And in COD Mobile, this is called the credits system. And with this, to my knowledge, you get credits basically just for playing the game. You get credits for login bonuses, for completing challenges. Essentially, just anytime you're interacting with the game in some way, you're piling up these credits in the background, so you're kind of just being rewarded for putting the time in and playing the game. And with these credits, you can go into the store, and there is a separate credit shop that allows you to buy many cosmetic items. There's a ton of things to choose from here, and while you obviously can't buy everything that you would normally be able to get with COD points, obviously they still want to make their money on the post-launch microtransactions. I get that. I think it would be really cool, though, to have this separate currency that at least gives you a good taste of the store through playtime alone. And I feel this would have been huge in recent years, especially with how they altered progression and they have your level resetting for every season, which essentially eliminated any form of long-term progression in Call of Duty. This is something that would bring back some of that feeling of long-term progression, where every time you log in and play, you're earning something. You're piling up some credits in the background that you can use down the road for something that you might want. It's not something that's just going to get reset on you the next time a season launches. It's something that sticks with you and your account. And I feel like having that sense of always working towards something no matter what is very important and kind of has been missing in recent years. So a credit style system like this, or salvage like we saw in Infinite Warfare, or armory credits in COD World War II, I don't care what they want to call it, but having a separate earnable currency I think would go a long way. And based on what I've seen, I really like what COD Mobile is doing here overall, minus the supply drop thing. I think supply drops don't need to be in there, but outside of that, I love the idea of having credits. Moving on to number 4 on my list of things that I'm really liking what I see in COD Mobile. This is a player profile that displays all of your stats and some of your accomplishments and stuff, while also giving you some control over what you allow others to see. So if you don't want somebody to look at your kill-death ratio, for instance, there's a little box that you can check off and you can opt out of that, so then nobody can look into that if you're embarrassed by it, for instance. And that to me feels like a perfect compromise. I do realize one of the reasons they've moved away from visible combat records or player profiles where you can check out other people in your lobby and see how good they are or what kind of accomplishments they have. I kind of get why they've eliminated that. Many people are embarrassed by their stats. They don't want to get harassed by people because they have a low kill death ratio or whatever. I like the fact that in COD Mobile, this is on by default, but if it's something you don't want other people to see, it's as simple as unchecking a box and you're good to go. This to me is far better than just hiding everything and really not being able to show off any of your accomplishments or achievements in game or check anybody else's achievements out in game. Now finally, there's one last thing that COD Mobile does really well, and I really hope they follow suit with this in Modern Warfare 2. This is their training mode firing range area. Now at this point, for Modern Warfare 2, we are fully expecting to see a firing range. In fact, in a private early media presentation that was just before the campaign reveal for Modern Warfare 2, I was able to attend this, and they were showing off a little bit of their Gunsmith. And with that, there was definitely a button that said go to firing range within the Gunsmith itself. So we're definitely expecting to see a firing range in Modern Warfare 2. I'm just hoping it's as feature-rich as the COD Mobile firing range, rather than the previous console versions we've seen, which were nice, but didn't really give us enough information to work with. The first thing I like about the COD Mobile version is you can go from just having those pop-up targets to actually adding bots that are real character models and will behave like a real character model in-game, and you can also make them move side to side, so you can practice leading your target with various bullet velocities. You can see how your gun is actually going to react and feel against an actual enemy that has the same body multipliers as enemies that you'll run into in-game, rather than just shooting a flat target. Additionally, with this, you have a little data panel on the side so you can see how many kills you've gotten, the total damage you've taken, your accuracy, your headshot accuracy, time to kill, as well as your hit distance, and you can reset that data anytime that you want. But then most importantly, for me at least, the part that I really care about on this is on the far right of the firing range in COD Mobile, we have a target that you can set the distance on from 5 meters out to 40 meters. And anytime you shoot this target, it will actually give you a nice display above it where your bullets are hitting. So that's pretty cool. That's nice to see. You can see what kind of recoil you're dealing with your gun. And then right next to that, we have a synaptic robot that we can shoot. And this gives us exact damage values in real time. And it does include actual body multipliers here as well. So you can see the exact damage value to the head, the upper torso, lower torso, legs. Wherever you want to shoot that target, you're going to be seeing exactly how much damage you deal. And this scales with the range that you set your target at as well. This would be such an amazing feature to have in Modern Warfare 2. And again, just like with the detailed Gunsmith, this may end up hurting my channel a little bit if everybody just has access to test it so easily. But I do feel like that would be better for the game and for the player base overall, and I'd really like to see at least this much detail in the Modern Warfare 2 version of the firing range, because COD Mobile has so far done the best job with the firing range out of any previous Call of Duty game. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for the top 5 features that I've found, at least, in COD Mobile that I would love to see transition into the console side, or like the regular side of Call of Duty. Now, of course, like I said, I'm not super experienced with COD Mobile. I'm sure there's some other features in there that I'm just unaware of, so I'd like to hear from you guys in those comments down below. Are there any other features in COD Mobile that don't currently exist in the regular Call of Duty games that you would love to see added? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.